Welcome back to The Gory Gaze, the horror podcast where two boyfriends slash up and bleed out your favorite
and not so favorite
horror movies and underrated horror movies and
the not so talked about
all horror movies.
Every single thing.
We're going to get it by episode 50.
Yeah.
All movies that are horror related.
We like sketchy, gross, what would you say, campy type films that are just hiding in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Underneath the rocks and the moisture growing, just growing.
The ones that we find on our hikes.
Yeah, the ones that we find on our hikes.
To Griffith Park. when we're walking the dogs and trying to feed the squirrels all the honeycombs.
Anyways, hello, Stanley.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
My name is Stanley.
My name is Alex.
And here we are.
We created a studio in some sort in our apartment just specifically for singing, just so Stanley can exercise his voice. And also so we can just have fun creatively.
I'm going to say you're exercising your voice too. You guys, Alex is a gifted singer. I said it in the last podcast too.
I'm okay.
It's good. It's good. We're like getting like all these cute little instrumental tracks from the internet and removing vocals, and
it feels like for those people that are like ride enthusiasts, if you go to like a theme park just to get on rides and scream shit out, like this is kind of what it feels like you're screaming just everything out into a microphone, and it's kind of like at the end of the day really relieving that you kind of let go of so much shit through music. It's really fucking great and therapeutic.
It's the greatest. Yeah. And 20 years ago this October, I moved here, and originally I had moved here to be an American Idol. You know what I mean? That was like the dream. And somewhere along the way, like the confidence just like got lost. But for the first 2 years of living here, between 2004 and I guess I started in 2005 and 2007, I recorded like 10 songs. Like I recorded a little demo. And then I never really did anything again. While I was in Alaska, it took a very long time, but I recorded a cover song. And then when I had moved back here, it took a minute, but I recorded an original song. But then that was 9 years ago. I haven't really done anything since. And I've always wanted to, like, it's always been in the back of my mind. But then, I decided to focus more on acting because that's something I've done all my life too. And I'm a Gemini, and I get so scattered, and I'm so ADHD that, one day I want to be a fucking ventriloquist, and then one day I want to be a funeral director, and it's.
And then you end up on the LA freeway just being pushed along with everybody else, and you kind of tend to forget about the things that are important to you.
Yeah, and then I'm crying in my hands, listening to Kelly Clarkson, just wishing I could write good songs. And I always forget, and then I remember that at one point in my life, I did write like a few kind of good songs, and I've been sitting on a few of them for fucking 20 years at this point, and I just decided it was time.
If you want to write a swing, just go get on a fucking swing. If you want to write music, just write music. If you want to do a fucking podcast on horror movies, do a fucking podcast on horror movies. You have the power.
Fuck off, bitch.
Sorry.
So we're playing with that, and I'm like, the goal is here. I'm gonna rewrite some of my old songs, and I've already re-recorded one and kind of played with some of the verses, and I'm like slowing down old tracks and like just having fun. And Alex is contributing in like such a great way, and he's
scream
like
your heart out, girl. Go
so
sing.
Supportive. Like he's literally made a recording studio in the hallway that kind of adjoins into the bathroom.
I'm not fighting it.
I tell people about this at work, and they're like, "Do your neighbors get mad that you're singing in the hallway?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. Never mind."
Not the actual apartment hallway.
I know. This has been like the first time in my not in my life, but like in the last few years that I've like been genuinely happy, like doing something that makes me like super happy. Yeah, I've been getting kind of high off of it. Like I think about it when I'm like not doing it. I like am really obsessing over it in a super healthy way. And
you've discovered the do what makes you happy.
Yeah. And like I feel good talking about it. Like I was texting Denise Richards like a file of this, like I'm sending people songs and like asking for input. Like you're giving me like all this really wonderful input. Like you told me what to like close the song with that I was working on recently, and it just worked so well. And it's just a nice place to be.
I'm like,
I know,
if I'm going to hear this song, it needs to end like this.
Yeah.
It needs to have this in the middle, this at the end.
yeah, and
It's
I know
a really good it's really good music. So I'm so proud of you.
will hear it. Thank you. You guys will hear it eventually. And I know that this has nothing to do with horror, but it's just kind of like what's been happening.
No, yeah, and this is what happened. So we've been playing with the same controller. So kind of, I guess that's what kind of messed things up when we did our recording, and something was just not connected, right? That we thought we did an entire episode, and when we were trying to upload it, it just
it was just
existent.
silent. It was just like that dead heartbeat line.
It was sad.
But this
such
is
a good episode.
The universe telling us that no, you do not need to be releasing episodes on Thursdays. You need to go back to Mondays like you were going for a minute and just like spend your week with all y'all, you know? So here is why we're back on Monday. So hi, Monday. Enjoy your week with us.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've already been to Monsterpalooza. Hopefully we've already met Melissa Barrera. Everybody that I've talked to has said she's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You've got me on that whole Vita kick now.
Yeah, I want you to, just get to explore another side of Melissa Barrera.
She's such a good singer
outside of
too.
Scream.
But she's fine in Scream. I liked her in Scream 6 better than Scream 5 Cream. But she's wonderful in this Vita show.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. And I liked her in Abigail a lot. I'm excited to meet her.
Yeah.
You can only talk to her in Spanish.
I will.
Only in Spanish. What else has been happening? Work sucks.
Work sucks.
Work sucks. And I guess...
it. Oh. Work sucks.
Ooh. The dogs are good. I'm good. You're good.
Everybody's good.
Everyone's good. What have you been watching?
Shit. Tons of movies.
So many movies. We're finally on the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
As far as the Harry Potter universe goes.
We are there.
Love it.
I watched Wind.
Oh, The Wind.
And I recommended you watch it, and you actually did.
Y'all, The Wind was good.
You know how it's so hard to like recommend a movie and you're like, but you better watch it, just watch it. And you really want somebody to watch a movie and then they don't watch it and you're like, did you watch it? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, just watch the fucking movie. But Stanley actually watched the movie, and what did you think?
So it was one of those where I sat down and the first 7 minutes, I was like, I can't dedicate an hour and a half to this. I have to watch it later, and I have to watch it when the mood is right. You know, if that makes any sense.
Oh, no, the sun has to hit in a certain way. I mean,
it's a mood.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a vibe. Man, like I had a couple qualms with it. You and I talked about it. There was some casting choices I think that could have been different, because there is one actress that is so fucking terrific, and then there's another
her opposite.
There's another character that, if that character would have been stronger, or that actor rather that was portraying the character would have been stronger, it would have been such a tighter movie, because the movie itself is really good, and the direction is good, and the setting is so eerie. And
you were fucking freaked out. Like, you were scared sitting he was not at the edge of the sofa. He was at the back end of the couch, like fucking knees, arms to his mouth. Like, he just couldn't fucking take this movie. It was so fucking scary.
And there was one part in particular that wasn't even meant to be scary, I don't think, but I was kind of stoned. It was with the pastor or the priest, and I'm not going to give anything away. I just want you guys to watch it. But I Zelda / what was his name? Pastor Kane or
Reverend
preacher. Oh yeah, Reverend Kane. It was very similar to those. Like, I kind of had like a flashback, and I was like, oh, like I jumped, and then that character, man, that was what stuck with me. Was that character. It just ended in a way to where I had some questions, and it just stuck with me. It was one of those movies that just stuck with me. So yes, good recommendation on your end.
It's beautiful too.
It's a beautiful, it's not a beautiful story. It's a very sad story.
Yeah.
It's very tragic because it's set in a time where there's not a lot of people, and then it kind of resolves itself in a way to where, no, it's not a happy ending. And you still have questions, and you kind of are left to decide what happened on your own, because it closes. The movie, I think, has answers within itself, but you as the viewer don't have the answers.
Yeah.
You know? And I like it when movies do that. I like it when they fuck with you. It's on Shudder, you guys. Like, a lot of the movies that we watched over this last week or so were on Shudder, and they were all really, really different and really fucking good. We also watched The Devil's Candy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that one has the same director as one of my fucking favorite movies, The Loved Ones. Did you ever watch The Loved Ones?
I don't think so.
About the girl who wants to take the cute little sad boy to prom, and then he says no, and then she kidnaps him.
I don't think so.
Oh my God, we gotta watch it.
Sounds like Baby Reindeer.
Oh, it's yes! I don't know if we've talked about Baby Reindeer.
I don't
Have we?
think so.
Okay,
I don't think so. No, maybe like when you first started watching it, I believe you must have thrown the name in there. There's no way that we missed that.
Baby Reindeer. Y'all need to watch Baby Reindeer if you haven't, because it's been out for a minute. It's on Netflix. I don't need to say anything about it because everyone else already has, but watch it. It's good.
I thought it was the girl that came out in that movie with Jennifer Aniston. what was it called?
Dumpling.
But it's not. It's totally not. This is a whole other actress that is just fucking wonderful at what she does.
Oh, what's that girl's name? Jessica something. That show's going to get nominated for a slew of awards this season. I'm calling it now.
It's like somebody's telling their story.
Man.
Better listen.
What were we saying?
Why? What were you watching?
We were talking about The Devil's Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The Devil's Candy. The same director as The Loved Ones. The Devil's Candy has Ethan Embry. It has, Sherry Appleby, the girl from Swin Fan that we saw at Gelson's the other day. The little girl I can't remember, but it's... Vince Taylor Pruitt is the villain. And I don't know if you want to call him a villain. He's just severely troubled. But that movie also... It's very fast. I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes maybe. But it's like a secluded farmhouse satanic movie. And that was also really, really solid.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out. And then last but not least, Queen of Black Magic.
Okay.
Indonesia gave us a wonderful, gory, outlandish, but also the story within the movie is really, really sad and also very good. The effects in it, we should probably watch more Middle Eastern horror, I guess, right?
This one was good. I mean, 90% Rotten Tomatoes.
Queen of Black Magic?
Yeah.
Fuck. And it was just, I was really encapsulated. Like, it's about three grown men who invite their wives or significant others and their families back to an orphanage that they were raised at.
Yeah.
So they can send off the patriarch of this orphanage into death because he's dying. And
basically, like, they're sending their dad off, but it's not. It's like the guy that ran the fucking orphanage.
Yeah, there's like a lot of bad things that happened at this orphanage. Girls that went missing. The woman who ran it with the man, I guess she had gone crazy. They locked her in a room and she died mysteriously. Lots of really fucked up shit. Worth watching.
Yeah,
definitely worth watching. So those three movies, hidden gems of the week.
No, yeah, really. And also Shudder just released a whole lot of movies now for June.
Oh, really? What did they release?
Let's see. So we have about a list of 7 movies, which we have Dr. Caligari, a 1989 film. Never seen it, never heard of it.
Me neither.
Funeral Home. We have Death on the Beach. Vacation of Terror, which I was watching earlier. And Vacation
was that
of Terror
the Spanish one?
Yeah, it's like super old and Mexican, super dope. Really cool movie though. It's about a little this little girl gets possessed by a witch that got burned at the stake at the beginning of the movie.
Oh my god.
But it's so weird because like there's this guy that's like a priest that kind of like he has a doll with him and then he inserts this talisman into the heart of the doll and it's what kind of makes the witch like weak. She like screams and hollers and I don't understand why the doll is connected to the witch yet. I haven't gotten that far. And then they're burning out at the stake and then they're throwing all of her stuff that she owns, like all of her shit that she uses to make witchcraft into a well. And then they cover the well. And at the end, he throws that doll into the well. And he's like, you can never be by her side anymore. He tells the doll and throws the doll down the well. And then the witch continues to burn through the entire opening of the movie. She's just hollering, screaming, burning.
When did you watch this?
Earlier while you were in the shower.
That's
I saw
hilarious.
That they had released all these movies and I was like, oh, this sounds fun.
You got through so much of it.
Yeah, and that's just the opening. Honestly, I haven't even got into anything.
That's awesome.
So then it goes into like, the today and then they start talking about how these were legends from back then. But the talisman is somehow found and still connected to that witch. So I haven't got into the part where the little girl's possessed yet.
Yeah, there was a lot of witchy stuff.
Pretty dope.
That we watched. What else is out?
Oh, yeah. So Vacation of Terror 1 and 2. And then there's
a sequel. Get out.
Yeah, there's a sequel. Outing, a.k.a. The Lamp. I haven't heard of that either.
Outing, but also known as The Lamp.
Yes.
Must be Japanese.
And Arrebato.
No idea.
Which I've never heard of either.
All right.
But willing to watch. And so far throughout the month, they're going to start releasing a lot of movies.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them, we really don't even know a lot of these movies. There's like Night of the Bastard, Body Melt, Herd, Mother May I? Oh, Mother May I?
Oh.
Gateway. Girl on the Third Floor. There's so many movies that are going to be.
I think I've
out.
heard of Girl on the Third Floor. Is that 2019 or 2021?
It doesn't have the dates.
Okay. I feel like I've heard of a movie similar to that title.
There's so many. Houseboat Horror and Inn of the Damned. Can't wait.
Okay. A lot of these movies sound fucking stupid, but I mean, Shudder does deliver really good content. Like, no matter what it is, like, they had Let's Scare Jessica to Death on there at one point. Like, come on. They just gave out
Vacation of Terror, the one that I'm watching, sorry. Literally has no credit, like, no number on it, like, no viewer, no critic, like, nothing. It's just 000. I'm like, am I really going to watch this? And I just press play. Just press play on the fucking movie.
I mean, I think Elves has 0%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, wait, no, not like, are you talking about zero... like just anything out there?
Yeah, anything.
Oh, okay.
No IMDb, like, no tomatoes, nothing. Like no critical reception at all. Like,
you do mean critical reception. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, good. Yeah, guys, go watch Shudder. Also, pay us, Shudder. Pay us. I've been asking Shudder for money in like a weird way for probably 3 years.
In a weird way, you're like, pay us.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, I guess I am demanding money.
Yeah.
We just want to work for you, Shudder.
Welcome home, Sydney. Watch the preview of coming events.
So this is really something that already happened, but we just wanted to say thank you to everyone who said hi to us at Monsterpalooza, even though it hasn't happened yet.
Hi, guys.
We're recording this beforehand, but this is dropping the day after, so we assumed that people said hi to us. If you didn't, then fuck off, bitch. But I'm sure we had a lovely time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Pretty positive.
And then we'll have like an actual conversation about Monsterpalooza next week when we discuss what Alex is going to be choosing for us to review. Alex, what is that? Do you
I actually
know?
have 2 picks, but I'm not sure which ones I'm going to go for because I've never seen these movies, but I'm thrilled to like get into them as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever watched them, but one of them having 92% on Rotten Tomatoes is Thelma.
Thelma?
Uh-huh.
Okay, what's the other one?
And then the other one is that I've been wanting to watch, What Keeps You Alive. And these movies specifically for June because they're both little LGBTQ friendly movies.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we want to just spice it up for the season. Why not celebrate Pride Month with a couple of LGBTQ movies? So they're both about, you know, girl couples, of course. And they're going to just go through the worst fucking time of their lives. And we're ready to watch.
I'm going to let you pick.
Oh, my gosh. I would do probably...
Okay, cool. I've seen the other one.
Oh, really?
It's really good. It's
Fucker.
really good, but I haven't seen.
Okay.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah, we can do
I know
Thelma.
nothing about it.
Okay.
Nothing about it. I like the idea that you just threw something out there that we know nothing about and neither of us have seen. And also that you decided to mention Pride Month because, we're homos.
Woo.
And happy Pride to all of our queer LGBTQ community. Thanks for listening, guys. And whatever. Hi to everybody else, too, I guess.
Everybody's included in the rainbow. Okay.
And then what else is happening? We have our craft conversation coming up in the next couple of weeks with Monica. And then other than that, we don't have much happening. Oh no, we're doing a Patreon.
What?
That is something.
We started. Well, we started it.
We have it in the works. So get ready to become a Patreon member.
Yeah, get ready for some shirts, stickers, cups, mugs.
Yeah, and that's what we're holding up the Lonnie's Lottery thing for, is because we're going to be doing the audio commentaries and stuff specifically on our Patreon, and we're going to be having themes specifically on our Patreon and other fun stuff.
We'll do cameos for your birthdays.
I love that. That's we'll work on that. Mm-hmm. We'll definitely work on that. We'll shave each other's heads.
Yeah, guys, we're cool. We're fun. We're like so much fun.
We'll wear our shining twins outfits.
Come out and play.
So that's something fun to look forward to as well. It's still in the works, but it's something that we can confirm with you.
The people under the stairs.
The people under the stairs clip. I cut myself off, and then it was like. All right, go for it.
Oh, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The people under the stairs. The coffee table in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's the movie we're talking about today, you guys. Holy shit.
Oh,
we
we
have
didn't
not
even
said
say-
one thing about the film that we're talking about.
Welcome to the Gory Games. Here I was excusing us for like being scattered, and that's how we start shit.
It turned into like the Broadway musical Stanley podcast. You guys, so we are talking about La Mesita del Comodoro.
See? Oh,
Did I say that right?
Very good.
Which is a 2022 Spanish, very, very bleak, dark.
It's a black comedy, if you will.
Yeah.
And by that meaning, like, there's nothing humorous about this movie.
No.
Mainly just the stress that it puts you through, and then also in a taboo type of way.
It's very much a horror film.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a horror film. If you are a parent, we are going to let you know now that this is not the movie for you.
Mhm.
You do not want to watch this movie. Severe trigger warning for every new parent, for anybody who has a soft stomach. Yeah, you've been warned right now, because
or just somebody's neighbor with a kid, or just a brother with somebody that has a kid, or everybody.
If you like kids, if you like babies, but also
or furniture.
Or furniture. Yeah. This is a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
This movie is absolutely stunning. It is very well made. There's probably not a lot wrong with it.
No.
And we'll get into it. So yeah, we're talking about The Coffee Table, aka
La Mesita del Comedor.
Sorry. What was your question?
Was there ever a show when you were growing up of like we had what is it? Mujeres Casos de la Vida Real growing up, which means like women's and real life cases, you know, like they go through life. And they would show like so much shit that like this stuff that would happen, you know, like intense stress, you know, that women go through in a normal day, you know, day-to-day life. And I don't know, did you guys ever like have that growing up, you know, like in an English version?
We had a show on HBO called Life Stories, Families in Crisis.
Okay.
It had like, Ben Affleck was in an episode where he was like taking steroids.
Fucking
and
America.
But it always started with the real life person,
Mhm.
and like say like the person would like have a tube in his throat and he was in a wheelchair and he was
Mhm.
like, this is my life story. And then that episode would be about this person in a gang. He got shot. And then at the end of the episode, it would be him again. He'd be like, don't go in the streets and be in a gang.
Wow.
Or it would be like a little boy who got molested by a priest. And
Yeah.
then at the end, he was
Mhm.
like, this is my story. You know,
Like
it's-
intense stress, you know, shit that
Yeah.
day to day, every single day, like shows that probably don't even exist now because they're
Oh
just so
man,
stressful.
but they did exist. And it was
Yeah.
very, very enthralling television. And I would watch that shit as a child.
And
Like,
see, this movie is kind of like that, but just in a longer version as a movie, as opposed to just one episode from those shows, you know, because it's like real life fucking horror stress, like horrific stress. And it's
Yeah.
showcased so beautifully, like in a movie and not in a short story.
yeah, you're a fly on the wall in someone's
Mm-hmm.
house on the absolute worst day of their entire fucking life.
Yeah.
Like you are not supposed to be watching this.
Yeah. Like you landing on their food is not the worst fucking thing that happened
No.
as a fly.
No. But let's talk about the people.
La gente debajo de los escalones.
Oh my god.
You have to say it in Spanish.
I'm like stressed out. I'm stressed. All right, go for it.
Directed by Caye Casas and written by Casas and Cristina Borrabia. David Pareja as Jesus, the husband, and Estefania de los Santos as Maria, the wife.
Mm.
I don't know if you noticed, the kid is named Cayetano.
I knew that, yeah.
The director's name's Caye.
Is that short for Cayetano?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty certain because it's spelled the exact same way.
I wonder if there was like self-loathing going on during the writing process.
Yeah, and then there's this thing where Cayetano back in Spain or in Argentina or something like that was a, you know, defined when you look it up, midget serial killer back in the 1800s, or I don't know what year.
You mean it means midget serial killer?
No. He was that was the name
he
of
was
the
the
serial
small
killer.
serial
Yeah,
killer? Okay.
Cayetano was the small serial killer. So excuse my language, but if you look it up, that's exactly how it's defined.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I apologize.
You're fine.
Anyways, or it means the silent one as well in Spain. Yeah, or there's a saint as well for underneath this thing. So it's just the weirdest part. Once we get to the plot of the movie, there's so many reasons as to why they're so proud of naming this kid Cayetano, or at least the wife is.
Which is funny because the baby does nothing but cry.
Yes. So other than that, yes, we already named David Pareja and Estefania, and we have Joseph Riera, and we have
as Carlos,
the brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then we have Claudia Riera, which is the brother's wife.
Fiance.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. They are just engaged.
Very young.
Yes.
Fiance, Christina.
Also pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
We spoiler.
We have cinematography by Alberto Morrago Munoz, which is fucking outstanding. Woof. So fucking great. The imagery in this movie is amazing. They don't even have to move the camera. Just shift it on the fucking drama. Yes. Edited by Caye Casas, which is the director.
Oh my God. The editing in this movie I don't even know how to like put it into words, because there are movies that I just don't understand how they get away with some things. And like movies like Mysterious Skin, for instance, like that movie just handles the subject matter so fantastically. Yeah. And you think you're seeing one thing when the people that are in front of the camera are actually doing something entirely different, right? And here, it's very much the same thing.
Yeah.
Quite clearly, nobody is being hurt, you know, but what you, like Alex, and what myself, Stanley, are seeing, like we think we're seeing something very violent and very tragic. The first time that we watched this together, we watched it to a certain point. One of us had to leave, and then I finished it myself. But the whole time I was like, woof, man, like I've seen a lot of shit. Like there are really terrible movies out there that are probably one-time watches, but I've seen a lot of really, really terrible movies. And there's movies like The Human Centipede that people really make big deals about, but The Human Centipede 2 is a lot fucking worse, and I will probably never watch it again. And then there's movies like a Serbian film. I will never watch it again. This movie, I watched it again for notes. I don't think I'm gonna watch it again because it's just, you don't feel good. You don't feel good watching it after, you know? It's really interesting.
I do. I actually liked it. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
And that doesn't mean it's a bad movie, because it's a very fucking good movie. Like I said, it's so well made.
Where was I?
I know.
Anyways,
sorry.
That was so good.
I end up going on a rant.
No, it's just this fucking movie's great. Just chef's kiss. Release date on this movie, I have the 30th of November 2022, which is
November 2022.
Oh, yeah, November 2022. Production companies, we have a couple as well. La Charrito Films being one of them, and Aljena Production.
So wait, is this made in Mexico?
This is a Spanish movie, so I believe Spain.
Is it Spain? Okay,
yeah.
I want to see just to be sure. Oh, you're right,
yeah,
Barcelona.
You can tell by their accents.
Yeah, because you and I were talking about the whole subtitle issue. Because when I watched it with subtitles, it doesn't correlate to what they're actually saying, right?
No. So when I was watching the movie, I was looking at the subtitles and I was watching the movie and like listening to the Spanish language. And I was like, oh my gosh, the TV is capturing the captions are capturing the words as to what the TV thinks it sounds like, as opposed to what's actually happening, you know, like in real life. So I'm like, what if people are just missing like points, you know, and important, like interesting things that are happening, you know, just because of the captioning. So I'm like, okay, maybe we need to like rewatch the movie and just watch it in Spanish just to like really understand what's happening. But I'm pretty sure, because I kind of like skimmed through your notes, and what I saw was like you kind of like got the movie on point, like how it is without the captioning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like really like, okay, Stanley's got this down. Like this ain't, there's nothing wrong with captioning. This is fine.
I feel like I just have spent enough time with you. And I just have worked in restaurants enough too, to where I think I might understand more Spanish than I give myself credit for.
Oh, yeah? Motherfucking?
Motherfucking? Yale.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, motherfucking.
Little trivia. This movie was shot over the course of 10 days.
What?
That's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, it's just filming.
But also good for them, because get it over with.
Yeah. 10 days, the movie takes place in just a series in a couple of hours, right?
This is just the over the course of a few hours. Yeah. The longest few hours of this poor family's life. God damn, dude. It's a tough watch. It's a tough watch. And I think the first I heard about this was from Mick Garris. Mick Garris had shared on a Facebook page, and we're friends on Facebook, but I think he's friends with everybody. Hey, Mick Garris. He had shared on his Facebook page to watch this movie. He directed Sleepwalkers.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. I was like, no.
No, who are you? He's like, who are you?
Oh, I saw him walking down Ventura once in Studio City, and I was like, Mick Garris. And he was like, hey.
Okay, go ahead with your story. Sorry.
I know. You
saw him walking.
Yeah, he said to watch this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of it. He said it was really good, really stressful, but it was probably one of the best movies he's seen in like 10 years. And then, of course, Stephen King also recommended it.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, let's give you guys some numbers.
Critical reception,
yes. For IMDb, we have 6.8 out of 10.
Okay.
It's good. 85% in Rotten Tomatoes.
That's actually really surprising.
Why?
Just because of the moment of violence that we get is so shocking and so like for what we do see, it's very abrasive and in your face.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the language. The reception in this movie was fucking great. Like, people were actually liking it.
It's so mean.
Yeah, it really is. For Letterboxd, 3.3 out of 5.
I mean, well received.
Yeah.
I think it's well received, and it's on a bunch of top 10 lists. And speaking of Stephen King, he said, and I quote, "Horrible and also horribly funny. Think the Coen brothers' darkest dream," unquote. And what a good comparison. Like, it does kind of feel like an ensemble piece, and it feels like a play. Didn't you say that it feels very much like a play?
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a very good way of putting it. Do you have a favorite character in this movie?
Jesus.
I think that Maria, I think the wife is actually my favorite character because she was so grating at first. Like, she really irritated me. But then as the story progressed, and I was just like watching the way this woman acted with her eyes and with her face and in her vulnerable moments. And when she was trying to communicate with her husband and like really plead with him with like her face, I was like, man.
It's just the saddest. It's just, how can I say it? The difference between both characters being that she is going through what possibly can be happening in their household is the fact that ever since the baby came, she kind of lost interest in her husband. And by these little details of what's happening during the movie, it's kind of cute to see that they're trying to fix their marriage is what she sees. But Jesus is already going through the trauma of what only he knows in his own head. And in reality, there's no fucking word coming out of his mouth. Yeah, it's so fucking great. But yeah, it's like the wife does play a good role in the fact that she's just trying to be a wife. But Jesus just fucking, damn, dude, the character changed from when the movie first started to how he progressed throughout the entire film. At the end of the movie, how he ends up is just fucking shocking.
Oh, I agree. I think one of my biggest praises of this movie is the character development from beginning to end with all the characters. Because like I said, like, Maria is such a heinous bitch at the very beginning. And then even when, because I was like, okay, forgivable 10 minutes in because of what we learn and what we know and how she's going through, how she had, it took her a long time to get pregnant and how things have not always been perfect and how it's taken a long time to get to where we are and, miracle baby type of shit.
Yeah. And it's true because there's a point at the movie. Sorry, we're skipping up ahead, but there's a point in the movie where they're actually having dinner with the brother and the fiance, and she kind of says like, "What's the most important?" The fiance asks, Maria, "What's the most important thing to you in the world?" And she says, "I think it's my baby. Like I've always wanted to just have a baby, and now that I have him, it's the most important thing." And it kind of like puts Cayetano in a place where, not Cayetano, Jesus in a place where it's like, oh, like I've been pushed second,
Yeah.
It's just so the moments are so real because it is true. You kind of do get pushed aside like that.
And then they start going over like their top fives and like who's in their top five and who's more important. And this movie puts a lot of really, really strange things into debate that you probably shouldn't be having in open conversations. Like, I don't think we would probably have this conversation at a dinner table with our family or our friends, like whether or not we know the answer. You know, like it's just, I feel like it's inappropriate whether they think it's not.
Yeah,
it's just interesting. She just has all these like expectations of Jesus, and I really just would love to know what was happening before the movie started. Like, I think I know. I think I have a really good idea. I would have loved to have more.
And I know you guys are all thinking like, oh gosh, where's the horror in this? You can't talk over dinner. Wait till we get to the details.
Oh, wait till we get to the dinner. Like, just wait till we get to what happened before dinner. And, you know, I mean, do you want to say anything about the music or anything?
Oh my gosh, the music. Honest to God, this fucking music. And if you pay attention, it's you know, like movies to me, ever since Christine, they just fucking connect to the scene. And they're kind of like, the movie stops talking and the music takes over. You know, and you're just paying attention to what the lyrics in the songs are saying, to what is actually happening in the movie. And it's so fucking good when that connects in my, you know, like in my head, and I hear it and I'm like watching the scene unfold as the fucking music is going. The music was selected for this movie. Very fucking good. Good choices in every single scene that had music in it. It was fucking great.
Esther Mendez. Esther Mendez. Bravo. Did you already say that?
No, I actually didn't.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, of course. I'm just looking real quick because I wanted to see who played Ruth, and I cannot find for the life of me who played Ruth.
Little baby girl.
Yeah. Eduardo Antunia played the salesman. Oh, Vecina Hia, is that neighbor girl? Is that what that means? Vecina Hia?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Gala Flores. Yeah. That is who plays Ruth.
And
so
it's Hija.
Hija. Okay, and then Cristina Dia is Vecina Madre, the mother. Okay, so we need to, those are two important characters that we need to bring up, because Ruth is a glue of sorts that kind of brings everything crumbling at the end if everything wasn't all fucked up enough.
Yeah. She's actually a little fucking instigating asshole. So if it wasn't, oh my gosh, we just got to fucking get into this plot because we're giving way too much ahead of it. And I'm just saying this little girl's a fucking asshole, because had this movie not been made to the point to it that it had, this little girl would have been the fucking horrific thing in this family, but we'll get there.
Yeah, dude, it's like the bad seed, but the little Latina version. Okay, guys. So yeah, I guess this is a good time to get into, how do you say it again?
La mesita del comedor.
Yeah, so go grab your
coffee and your magazines and
your
place
babies.
your shit on your coffee table, because we's about to go in.
Or don't place your shit on your coffee
or
table.
Grab your keys and let's go buy a new coffee table, right? Don't place your...
We're done.
Construiste tu infierno, pieza por pieza. Elegiste su forma y su color.
All right, so before I go any further, I just want to say how I said I was never going to watch this again, and Alex is pressing play on the TV in the background.
Yes, why not?
And also, we did buy it.
Uh-huh.
Because it was $6.99 to rent it a month ago, and it was only $9.99 to buy it. So why not just digitally download it, baby? Okay, so let's do it. We begin with a woman giving birth. And this woman is Maria. What's her name, Alex? Estefania de los Santos.
Sí.
And childbirth, baby. It's sweaty and painful, but it's also beautiful, right?
Yeah, it really is. And the way this woman is screaming is like, what is going on?
Oh my God. We hear a baby cry. A mother sees her child for the first time and she cries with him. It's truly a beautiful sight. And this is how this is how our movie starts. This is our first frame. Let that sink in. Has it sunk in?
Sunken.
Okay, we cut quickly to a furniture store, and I'm assuming a few weeks have passed because the baby is being cradled in mama's arms, and mom and dad are standing in the furniture store, and there's a salesman. The salesman is the short, chubby, washed up a little man, and they're about to purchase a coffee table. The husband, Jesus, really wants it, and Maria does not.
Oh, not just any coffee table. This one's made of ivory and gold plated with fake gold.
And it's like being held up by these ivory gold-plated women, showing their breasts. And I mean, it makes sense why Jesus wants it. He's in the middle of like a midlife crisis.
Very gaudy.
Yeah, he looks miserable.
Yeah.
And the salesman is really pushing it.
Yeah.
And what's the big catch here? It's unbreakable.
It's unbreakable. This glass is unbreakable.
Unbreakable glass.
This table's going to change your life.
And it's going to look perfect no matter where you put it.
Yeah.
And it, again, unbreakable. And it is beautiful. It's kind of tacky, but it's got like a certain kind of charm to it. It belongs in like I'm
telling you, it's gaudy. It belongs like in a like one of those like nail salons, maybe as a reception table, or like where you put like little vouchers of other businesses and stuff.
Sure, that works.
Or a foyer.
Yeah, that works too. I mean, we would put it somewhere.
That motherfucking table?
Okay, maybe not.
No.
Okay.
Get out of here.
I still think it's kind of beautiful.
I don't know. Well, with the appropriate plant on top of it, I would agree, kind of. It's just really gaudy.
Maybe if we were still drinking, we would put liquor on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be like a bar table. A rorette. It's called a rorette model.
Yeah.
So, I also wanted to say that Maria is a one feisty bitch.
Yeah.
And remember how at the beginning I'm like, or earlier in the episode, I was like, she is grating as fuck. Like she's very condescending. She is just she talks down to Jesus a lot.
She's very Kelly Catrone, I told you. She reminds me of like fucking Kelly Catrone. If you know, you know. And her fucking attitude is the exact same. Yeah,
we established the dynamic between them very fast. Jesus does not get a lot of things his way. And Maria, it's her way or the highway. And I really hate that expression, but it's very, very true. And she doesn't think that Jesus is in this completely, the relationship.
Yeah.
And she thinks that Jesus doesn't love her son. Like it's 0 to 100 very quick.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's because there's a scene at the furniture store where they start talking in front of the guy, and he actually tells Maria that he was not ready for a kid, that he didn't want a baby. And this is where it starts, like the whole awkwardness of this movie unfolding is like, you didn't want the child to begin with, sir.
Yeah, it just makes, that's what I meant earlier when I was like, I want to know what happened before this. And you can just see the way that he looks at her, the salesman, as opposed to looking at Jesus. Like there's like a certain judgment when anybody in this movie looks at Maria instead of looking at him.
She's a genuine bitch that doesn't hold back, and it kind of gets on people's nerves when people are like that because they're just blocking your energy. Like they're just with their constant no's and their constant dissatisfaction.
But she also is a realist. I mean, when he says to her, oh, this table is going to bring you happiness. Like she's right. How can a physical object bring you happiness?
She's physically telling him, like, do you see us happy right now, or do you see us not arguing about this fucking table that's supposed to bring us happiness?
Right. How the fuck is this table going to change anything?
Yeah. And
then he says, I almost never lie to my customers, which is a huge foreshadowing line.
That is so you and I. I almost don't never fucking lie. I always fucking lie to my customers, saying that I wear every single shoe that they buy.
I think I probably tell one lie per evening, and it's usually like just about like if we're out of something, like if we're out of like a fish that I don't want to fillet at the table, you know.
Girl, last night we went to Farmer's Boys at the end of the night just to fucking get a quick burger, and they told us they didn't have shakes as the girl is making a shake in the damn machine, and I'm like, are you lying to me right now? There's a shake being made.
Look at this shot right here.
Oh yeah,
that image of their reflection. In the unbreakable glass as he tells them that it's unbreakable.
Yeah,
and then he's telling them that the marriages can be broken. but this glass can't.
Yeah.
I think that is so fucking poignant.
And the reflection of them both as he's telling him that a marriage cannot be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reflection of them both being in the mirror as he's saying that is fucking genius.
Yeah. And then she's walking away. She's like, fuck this table. And he's like, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
I think that this whole opening is just so fucking excellent. Like, this is where the humor is, because you know that something bad is going to happen, and it's going to be with this table, and it's going to break. You just don't know how, why, or what is going to happen.
When Maria walks away, there's a moment between the salesman and Jesus, and he's like, "Come on, we'll go get the paperwork ready." And Jesus looks at the salesman, and he's like, "Tell me the truth, honestly, genuinely. Do you really like this table?" It's Jesus asking the salesman. The salesman's like, straight looks at him in the face, and he's like, "No."
The salesman is a really good character.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, Eduardo Antuña is the salesman.
I'm gonna ask you something. What'd you think about the opening credits?
Wonderful. I love that they are in the form of instructions.
It's fucking amazing. How did they think of this?
Exactly like IKEA. And this is exactly what IKEA looks like when I'm reading IKEA instructions. They don't make a lick of fucking sense, and they might as well say La Masita del Comodoro.
Yeah, because this is a Swedish piece of furniture. They do say that it's from Sweden.
Made in China. They say it's Swedish, but made in China.
Made in Japan. And I love the way
that's the fan. Yeah, the fan is made in Japan.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's like, come back and I'll give you a fan. It's made in Japan. And I love that he's so excited to sell something that's made in Japan.
Oh, we'll get to that, because I don't think it's about selling him anything made in Japan.
I just wonder how
something else.
Yeah, if it's different in Spain than America, like Japanese items, like, merchandise like that.
I think so, because here Japanese items are hot.
Yeah.
We want shit from Japan.
We go to Daiso all day long.
We love Daiso, baby. What was I gonna say? Oh, I like the part where he has to push the whole fucking table up the stairs himself.
Is so pathetic.
My question is, did she take the elevator?
I was thinking, like, why is there no elevator?
And why couldn't he? Did it not fit in the elevator?
I'm not sure. I love the name though. Rorot.
I like that too. I also, do you think that Maria doesn't like the table because of the nude women on it?
It's just fucking tacky as shit. Honest to God, it's a tacky ass table, and do not bring that into this house unless you're Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh, fuck Zsa Zsa Gabor. Do you know that she's somehow related to Paris Hilton in an off way?
Everybody's related to Paris Hilton.
But it's because she was married to a Hilton. That's why.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so on their way into the apartment, the couple run into their neighbors, which are Christina. Is that what her name was? Did I make that up?
The mother?
Well, I know the daughter's name is Ruth. I already forgot the mom's name.
I believe probably, yeah.
I'm like, who cares? We'll call her neighbor mom.
Yeah.
They're both wonderful. They're great characters. Ruth is a little puta.
Yeah, she really is, you guys.
And that literally is my note. Ruth is a little bitch. But in the vein of Mexicana, we're gonna say puta. She has a fluffy little dog named Nicholas. What were you gonna say?
She's just she's a Spanish actress, but she's so fucking good at what she does. Honestly, you fucking hate her right off the bat.
She's wearing like a jumpsuit.
She's fucking great at what she does.
A little purple bow in her hair. It's obvious that the neighbor mom is like a chatty Katerina, and is a little judgy at Maria for being a little bit of an older mother herself. Like the face that Maria gives to her after she says something to her about being older, and then B, she's like, oh, you better get another one in her before she's too old for it. And then when she's talking to Jesus about how handsome he is.
Oh, the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mom flirts
with this guy.
Everybody does. Like, there's a moment later in the movie, too, where she gets all awkward. She makes it awkward for them both. But right now as well, like, she was, like, telling him as they're coming down the stairs, the mom and the little girl, and then Jesus and Maria walking into their apartment. And this neighbor's just mentioning to Jesus, like, Jesus, 2 is better than 1. Just like kids. Like, she's saying, like, you can have your wife and myself too, or just like you can have 2 kids, but she's just hinting like, you can have 2. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she walks right by him to go past the stairwell, and she just like puts her ass like right between, the stairwell and his waist, just to kind of like be slutty.
Oh no, they're like mother, like daughter.
Yeah.
And then this is where Ruth like accosts him and accuses him of not returning calls and text messages and not telling his wife about them, because apparently he tried to kiss her in the elevator. But,
she's having her Veda Sultanfuss moment.
Oh yeah, it like never happened though. Like she's completely delusional, or at least he says.
No, he just sent her some links to some poems for a fucking class project, and she got all fucking, oh, he loves me.
Yeah, but like she straight up says like, oh, I want you to run away with me and fuck me all night, or I'm gonna blackmail you.
She tells him, that your wife is tired of you. You know that you really want to come with me so you can fuck me all day. Admit it. She tells him this shit, like, fuck me. She uses the word fuck me all day. This little 13 or 12-year-old girl
is a crazy little bitch.
Yeah.
So she basically says that she is going to blackmail him.
Is she crazy or down for her shit?
She knows better.
Yeah.
This was me at 13.
She's really down for her shit. Yeah, honestly,
So Jesus begins to build the coffee table, and Maria and he fight more over the name of their son, what's the son's name?
Cayetano?
Yeah. And how Jesus never wanted a kid to begin with. Really, this fight is about the table and the control Maria doesn't have over the situation. It's right here that he discovers a screw is missing. Jesus blames the Swedes, and Maria blames the salmon. Wait, what? The salesman. I literally...
Wrote salmon?
I wrote salmon.
Okay.
I'm going to leave that in. That's funny. Okay. Jesus calls the store and tells them to deliver the screw, which they say they will do.
And I love this moment because Jesus shows balls as he's calling the fucking furniture store, and he's like, yeah, I'm missing the screw. And they're like, why don't you come pick it up? We'll have it ready for you. He's like, I am not going to go pick it up. Are you kidding me? As much money as I spent on this table, you're going to bring it to me right now. You're going to bring that screw to my house. Here's the address. You can use the same one that you used when you shipped it over.
Yeah.
Like, and he really gets angry and she gets all proud.
And do you think that she's proud, or she's like, really? This is the moment you're going to choose to like stand up for something, is this fucking coffee table?
Oh, maybe that
I think that it makes her even more mad.
Yeah.
I think that she's like, you're doing this, like you're standing up for this, and like you're not going to do shit for your son. Like you're going to do like,
it's just this fight between them over and over about the name that they chose for the baby, and then that's just how they're just angry about that.
Yeah,
he's not happy with the name, and that's why I'm not sure where the name is from. Either a saint or the killer that I said, the serial killer from back in the days, or the quiet one.
Yeah, I think they talk about it later.
They don't. Like, I waited for the moment, but they just don't. They just keep bringing up the name, and everybody's proud of it. But if you're from Spain, please let me know what Cayetano means.
Yeah, we can Google it.
I tried.
And
it's those 3 answers that I'm telling you. Sydney.
No.
Jeez.
All right. Well, yeah, let us know what Cayetano means. I always think of Siriano, which is Christian Siriano, who's a designer. Okay.
I believe because it might be the saint that he's named after, because they're very religious, the family as well. There's like religious music playing in the background sometimes, or they just bring it up so much as well. Like, the religious part of them.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I'm like flossing.
Anyhow.
I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, but let us know though. That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Rorette French?
No, it's Swedish.
Oh, it's Swedish. Oh my God. Okay, so I do love how during this scene, though, when he's on the phone, we get the little shots from Maria's perspectives and what she's seen. So, like, she sees the blue teddy bear, she sees the screws, she sees the table itself.
So appropriate.
And you see the glass tabletop and the baby in his face. So, like, the screws are something that I didn't notice the first time I watched. Like, and that's something very important. Because later, that's what he slips on.
Yeah. Well, it's not slips on, but it's
right.
Yeah. No.
Then I need to know exactly how the fuck it happens.
He places the baby on top because
why
he leaves the glass on top of the table.
No, because it's still slanted. He never moves it. Why? Okay, because we're watching it. See how it is.
I don't know if he slips.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because he places it on top and then he's moving it.
This is suddenly turning into an audio commentary. Yeah. We're trying to avoid that. This is the problem about having in the background. Okay, so the only thing that Jesus wants is this table to like work and be like sturdy, and he's adamant. Yeah. Like, he just wants this fucking thing to be in his living room, and it's all he wants. So Maria decides to go shopping, and we learn that his pedophile brother and his teen girlfriend / fiance are going to be coming over. Yeah. And his girlfriend is much younger. She's like 18, as opposed to Carlos, his brother, who is probably in his like late 30s.
Yeah, and like we said, this movie is literally based in just the course of hours throughout the day.
Yeah. So Jesus is left with the little baby while Maria goes out to shop for the food and stuff. And let's take note that this is the first time that Jesus has been left alone with the baby since he has been born.
Yeah. So he doesn't have any say.
So-
The only thing he's ever had say in is this fucking table, and it's so important to him.
So
But-
that's like the big deal about this. And that's why he's like, no, bitch, like I'm fucking doing whatever I want with this table, and you're not going to have a say in it.
yeah.
But this is the big set piece in the movie, you guys. Like we're about 19 minutes in, I think 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
And
The ship is about to take sail.
yeah, the baby has started to cry. And Jesus picks him up and starts pacing around with him, and he wants him to stop crying. And he's like doing the daddy talk, you know, he's like, Daddy loves you. I'm going to eat you up. All the daddy talk. And he is pacing back and forth, and the camera's at this angle where it's like in the hallway, and you're kind of moving closer into the living room, and you see this armchair at the forefront. Or I guess further down the hallway from this angle. It's kind of hard to explain. You need to watch it.
That chair's fucking amazing, though.
And
I really want that chair.
Yeah, and the chair has this like fringe on the bottom of it. And Jesus puts on this music. This is where the trigger warning is, you guys. We don't see this,
No.
but we hear glass shatter.
Yeah. Because the dad's like carrying the baby around the living room, you know, and he's just trying to quiet him down. And then he's like, look at the table. Do you like the coffee table? Look at the coffee table. Do you like the coffee table? And then what comes next?
From what I have gathered, he slips on the screws and he falls. And at the angle that he falls, the baby hits his neck at the angle, at the exact edge of the coffee table, the way that it is slanted. The baby is decapitated. His head rolls under the armchair.
Mind you, at this moment, like the camera's moving closer and closer and closer into the living room. We're still in the hallway. And the moment that is about to happen where this baby is about to fucking lose his head, we don't see shit happen. All we see, and if you catch it in time, is the head that literally rolls underneath that chair that we can see off the distance. And it's only because the fringe that Stanley had mentioned earlier moves. And
God.
yeah. So
Oh, my
there it
fucking
goes.
God.
And you just see like the blood whip out of the backside of the chair, the blood, you know, from the head, because the head's like literally spinning on the floor and it just lands underneath the chair.
And you don't see the head spin, but you
Yeah.
can hear it.
The thump of the head rolling is what fucking shocks the fuck out of you, because you know exactly what happened.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
You know. And like, I think the closest thing that I can tell you that this can correlate to is the moment in Pet Cemetery. You're welcome, Pet Cemetery lovers, is when Gage gets hit by the truck and you see his bloody shoe flop into the street.
Yeah.
That's like, I guess, the closest comparison I have. But you guys, this is executed so well. And I say well, because you haven't seen anything like this.
No.
You haven't seen anything like this before, and you might not ever see anything like this again. This is such brave filmmaking.
It's the way the impact of the glass sounds, it's you know right away like what happens, and like everything is filled in blood after. Like there's just blood fucking splattered everywhere. The fireplace, the teddy bear that they showed earlier, all over the fucking what do you call it? The manual. Every single place has blood on Jesus himself, and they show the shot, you know, like after this happens, the incident happens, the camera's basically placed over the coffee table, and there's the decapitated baby with the sliced, you know, the glass,
The
you know,
pane.
the glass pane, and Jesus just with his hands over the child in fucking shock. Like there's nothing that he can do. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced anything like this in life, to where you've done something so bad that you think is like the worst fucking thing that can happen, and you don't know how to say anything. Like you're just stuck in this shock. Like I remember like when I crashed my first family's vehicle and I just fucking ran away. Like I was just like in shock. Like I just could not fucking react. And it's such a ugly feeling. Like what Jesus is about to fucking go into is like, please wake me up from this fucking nightmare. Because even you as an audience, you're like, just walk into the next room, and if you come back, the baby's gonna be there. I promise you, this is just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
it is. It's so fucking bad.
Yeah, it's very emotional.
Yeah, this is very like gut wrenching. You are in the fucking shit. You're in the moment with Jesus. You feel every single feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maria is at the store and she runs into an old friend and her daughter. And I know that the tragedy is horrific, but we learned that Maria has been trying for 2 years to get pregnant. And this baby was the miracle baby that they've been trying for a long time, which kind of makes everything even more deep, I guess, is just the best way of putting it. And then we cut back and forth from the store and the house. And then we learn that this is Jesus's dead grandmother's house. And that's what I mean, that the character development just keeps getting better. Like, we keep getting more backstory about these two and, you know, that it's taken them so long to get pregnant and that they have been together for a very long time and that they inherited this house together and et cetera, et cetera. And the music and the stillness at the same time that we're getting, the contrast between the house and the store and Jesus pulling glass out of his bloody hands.
Yeah, the silence in the house because the baby's no longer crying.
And
that's why I think Cayetano means the quiet one as well.
Oh, yeah, because the rest of the movie, he's quiet.
And this is, no.
Let's be real. And we also get tons of wide shots of the aftermath. And we get the baby in a blue bundled blanket, all like headless and bloody.
I love that they show it. Like, we didn't see how it happened, but after, they just didn't go fuck.
They do not shy away. We do not shy away from the aftermath at all. And then Jesus changes his diaper.
Oh my gosh, dude, in that state of shock.
He is in such shock that he is like caring for his little baby as if he is still alive.
It's the saddest fucking moment in the entire movie. This man is in fucking shock, picks up the fucking decapitated body. His eyes are like wide as fuck. And the blood dripping off the breast.
That's also very, very symbolic. I think
it's the fucking table.
Well, but also for like the mother.
Yeah,
like the mother is bleeding. Yeah. The mother's going to be bleeding for her baby.
Yeah, so he picks up the baby and changes the diaper, like proceeds to change the diaper, which makes sense because later when Maria gets home, she asked him, "Did you check him for shit? Did you check him if he took a shit?" And he's like, "Yes, I did." And
then
like,
she said, and he also said that the baby didn't shit, but the baby did shit.
Yeah,
because he like removes a full diaper. I'm gonna say that this movie has sort of solidified that I kind of don't want kids. Like, I'm also not very. I don't think I'm careless. Like, I feel like this guy was kind of careless in this moment.
I was telling you earlier how everybody here in Hollywood kind of replaced kids for dogs.
I mean, we have 3 and that's enough. And I cry over my living dogs on a daily basis.
It'd be the same feeling. If you're a dog parent and you think, I think it'd be the same feeling, you know, as a child or your pet.
I mean, I have 2 dogs from a previous life that passed more than 2 or 3 years ago at this point. And I still like have moments on a weekly, you know, and it's weird. Grief is weird. All right. So and by he, I mean Jesus, he puts the baby back in the crib as if he is putting him to bed. And then he starts to panic.
Yeah.
And he's covered in blood and he knows that Maria is coming. So he goes to Ruth upstairs because he needs some sort of help. He just doesn't know what to do.
Little baby girl.
Yeah. She refuses unless he tells his wife about their fake affair. The mother, who name again I don't know. She appears, flirts with him.
Yeah.
And remember, he's covered in blood, but he convinces both of them that he's painting Le Bebe's room rojo. And Ruth says she'll come by for the cleaning supplies that she has given him later.
The mom does flirt with him there too. She kind of asks him like, she's like, I kind of like this color in my bedroom. What do you like in the bedroom?
And then she says that her favorite color is pink.
Yeah, something like that.
Her pussy.
And she's like, what do you like in the bedroom? And he's like, what? And she's like, you know, color. Like, what kind of color do you like?
Everybody wants to fuck this guy.
I don't know why.
And I mean, I don't either, actually.
No, I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe in Spain, he's a hot tamale.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he's like, yes to dad.
Maybe it's the new dad thing. Like, women get that weird thing for like new dads, right?
Yeah. I mean, he looks very Los Feliz.
Oh, he does. He's got the hippy dippy thing going on. He's got the Calabasas thing going on too. There's a lot of Calabasas dads that look like this.
I'm pretty sure he's handsome as shit. It's just the way that they dressed him, like, you know, just the casual dad hanging out at home, building his fucking coffee table, killing his kid.
Oh God, poor guy.
So this is his downfall.
Yeah. He goes to the apartment, back to the apartment, so he can fix his fucking coffee table. I mean, so he can clean up his mess. And then the salesman steps out of the elevator with the missing screw. And this is where we learned that it was designed in Sweden and made in China. And that's what made me think of IKEA.
Yeah.
And this is the part that I was telling you. I think that the salesman might be a tad homosexual.
It took me a while to understand that. I'm not sure, honestly. Like, I don't know if he's just a kiss-ass salesman, like, you know.
I mean, so just so we're clear, the salesman is here to give him the screw, and he is straight up like checking him out. Like, I feel like he is checking out his ass. He has him turn around so he can fill out a form for him to win this free fan from Japan. Yeah. And he basically implies that he's going to make sure that he wins for the inconvenience of having to like wait for this screw and it not being in the pack, blah, blah, blah. And then he tells him like, oh, I don't have friends. I would love to go out with you for a drink and to go to the cinema sometime. I can stop by from time to time. I think we have a connection, and he's like giving him like fuck face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the first time I saw it, I didn't catch it. The second time I saw it, I was like, bro, you're trying to fuck. And then Jesus slams the door in his face because he's straight up trying to follow him in.
He's like, you need to fucking go.
It's very, very interesting. I definitely got gay vibes off that guy.
Yeah, probably, most likely.
A short little lonely man just wants love.
Well, I'm just in the vibe that everybody wants to fuck this guy, and I don't understand why.
And that's also kind of a horror aspect. Like, it's like in the moment, like that you really just don't want any fucking attention. Nobody will leave you alone. Let me deal with my mess. And everybody go away.
And maybe that's what it is too. Just like when you're in the most stressed out moment, because honestly, he has to. Like, there has to be people just, all up in his face during this moment of stress, because or else, why would it be stressful? Like, other than that, you're just living normally. But right now, he's fucking in the worst state of shock, in the worst state of mind, in the worst fucking episode of his life ever. And these people are just bombarding him left and right. His wife had called him from the market when she was earlier with a phone call from a past friend, like, hey, somebody's here to say hi to you. And he's like, bye, bitch. Like, I don't even want to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
There's no energy.
He just kept fucking hanging up on her.
Yeah.
And then when she gets back to the apartment, she's like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah. Like, I kept calling you. Why'd you keep hanging up on me? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm trying to buy nice wine for your fucking stupid brother and you hang up on me? Like, are you fucking dumb? Like, she goes back and forth from being understanding and sweet to terrible and cunty.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then he, like, takes a shower after he's done cleaning and realizes that he can't like clean up like the best. There's no way. Like, there's no way to get all this blood out. So
it's just gross and sweaty and damp. Like, it's just like you just feel his like fucking exhausted, soul already. Like, it's just like, how can somebody go through this without a fucking headache, without giving too much stress or emotion in your body? Like, this guy is putting himself through shit in hell.
Yeah. And there's just so much mounting dread. As Maria is on her way home. And there's like little things that are popping up throughout this little segment as he's cleaning up, like the Happy Father's Day mug that's in the shower. And just like pictures of her pregnant when she's calling, and pictures of her on the mantle of her being pregnant. Just like all this little stuff.
I remember, when I was a kid at my house, we used to have like a lot of like animals, like a lot of little farm animals, like little ducks and chickens and all that shit. And once my mom and I went out to buy baby ducks, like we bought a little, 5-6 packs of them. And they were on the backyard, and I was, of course, a kid, and they were so cute because they would just gather around you. If you're the bigger part of the ducklings, then you're the mama, right? So I am jumping, like I just start jumping like a kid, and one of the ducklings goes underneath my foot, and the duckling is dead.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
God.
Oh my gosh, I just fucking killed a little duckling. And I was like in shock. I was just like trying to like bring this fucking duck back to life. And I'm like, there's no fucking way this duck's ever going to live again. I didn't understand death. And it reminds me of this moment. Like, I didn't tell my mom anything. I buried the duck in the backyard, and my mom just had to deal with the fact that she thought she bought 3 instead of 4. I'm like, no, we put one back.
That's very brave of you for telling that story.
It was so sad. Like, it was the saddest thing, because it was a moment just like this where you're like, I wish I could walk into the next room and come back and this disappears, and it's just not happening. Even for me as an audience member watching this man go through this, I'm like, just wake up, dude. Like, this is the most horrible day ever.
This explains why Alex is afraid of ducks.
I'm not afraid.
I'm just kidding.
Donald Duck.
He turns on me. He's like, what the fuck?
I'm not afraid of ducks, just baby ducks.
It's just baby ducks.
I didn't realize we get a little crack.
Yeah, we get some Jesus crack when he's in the shower. So while he is contemplating suicide outside, I mean, it gets really intense for a hot minute. Like, he is standing outside. You think he's going to jump. He finally opens the door to Maria because he's been ignoring her. He lies to her face, says he cut his hand on the table when it broke for some unknown reason. The baby is asleep. It took a while to put him down, and he does not want the baby to be woken up. So for the rest of the movie, he keeps Maria away from him, and she laughs at him like heinously over the fact that the coffee table broke, and it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is. Because she comes in and the first thing she notices is all the blood on the carpet and his hand's already wrapped, by cleaning it off. And he just starts telling her that, it's his blood, that he broke the table, that the baby's asleep. And I'm like, I don't know. That would be my first concern would be like the baby sleeping, like it's the first time he's ever been so quiet. All this blood all over the living room, like something's up.
Yeah. And like the things that she says to him afterward, and when she's like saying it through her laughs, she says stuff like, what did you do to break it? How did you break it so easily? I would have loved to see the moment it broke. The look on your face.
Yeah, she's just floating in such fucking happiness, like overwhelming happiness of being a mom, that she's just fogged up in that fucking cloud that she doesn't even realize that her husband is like not all there. Like his eyes are blank. His fucking face is just sweaty throughout the entire movie. He's just hiding a secret. When you know somebody, you know that they have something that they're not telling you, and you're like, what's wrong? Like, what's up with you? You're acting different. What's wrong with your energy? Like, something is up. And we don't get it in this movie because, in all honesty, everybody's just floating in the baby, on the baby, on the baby.
Yeah, it's really fucked. It's really fucked. And then, like, we have this playing in the background, and just watching his face and watching her face. And the way they counteract each other is really phenomenal. Some actors just work really well together. And these two it's very exceptional.
Yeah, this guy is fucking just great at what he did in this movie, because his acting and the way that he changes his face into the emotion that he's feeling is like, you can see it right off the bat. Like, how are these people just ignorant to what this man is doing?
Yeah, I don't want to ever like praise Kevin Spacey because he's a piece of shit, but I loved him in American Beauty, and I think these two really.
They have the same exact look now that you say that. Like, he has a Kevin Spacey face.
They kind of remind me of Annette Bening and Kevin Spacey in American Beauty. But this is obviously much, much worse.
Yeah.
When she goes to check on the baby and he has the knife, I thought that he was going to fucking kill her.
Me too.
The first time. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. But that's not what happens.
No.
They do have a very real life moment, though, where he asks for forgiveness now and forever. And they understand each other, at least in that moment. And it's really beautiful, even though she still doesn't realize she's being manipulated. And I don't think that he realizes he's manipulating her, in all fairness. And her baby is dead 2 feet away. And the head is in the living room under a chair, if we have forgotten.
And she was just there pointing at the fringe on the chair. The blood stains on the fringe, and the baby's head is right underneath that fringe.
Oh my God, her hand was inches away from it. And she had no idea.
Yeah.
And at this point of our plot description, there's still like 40 minutes left of the movie. We're officially at the halfway point.
Yeah, I can feel Jesus's like headache.
Oh yeah,
the stress headache.
He's got to be fucking done.
Yeah.
At this point. And then there's like a bunch of really cool transitions. We get the baby monitor moment and the blood under the crib and the way we fade in and out of them, like these transitions. And also, the baby monitors are very old. Yeah, I think that's.
What he hears out of the baby monitors, though, is so wicked. Like, it's so fucking crazy to hear the noises. Like, I hear them too, sir.
Fucking nuts, yeah, because he ends up losing it, right? Like, and he gets really drunk off the wine that Maria has brought home.
I don't think it's even doing him anything.
No, and I think he's starting to get, like, kind of drunk.
Yeah.
Because he drinks, like, the whole fucking bottle himself.
But being in such a state of shock is, like, this is not fucking affecting him as shit.
Yeah, but
he's just hiding behind the bottle, so they're, like, he's distracting everybody by making them believe that he's just busy drinking.
Yeah, I also think that it's contributing to it, though. And when he starts to hear the salesman breaking down what the coffee table is capable of and how it'll change your life for the better, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus's brother and his girlfriend arrive. This is Carlos and Christina. Both of them are fun. Carlos looks like Jay Duplass. That is the brother of the guy who plays Creep.
Yeah.
Maria goes on to bash the coffee table more. And Christina gifts the couple a little knitted cap and sweater. just to rub salt into the wound.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to see this baby, but obviously he's still, quote unquote, sleeping. Jesus snaps at them, but eventually caves and tells them that they can see the bedroom that they've worked on. And Carlos can sense that something's wrong, you know, the brotherly intuition type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks it's Ruth. And I love how Carlos, his brother, knows about Ruth, and that it's like a topic of conversation between the two, and that we kind of know that these two are close.
Yeah.
Like as brothers, that they're close.
Yeah.
The baby room, by the way, is so fucking cool.
That is fucking cute.
I love that the dolls are like so old and vintagey, and there's like a lot of consumerism here. Speaking of consumerism, Mother's Day plug, go listen to our Mother's Day episode and go watch our watch along on YouTube. Boom. All these toys belong to my brother, by the way.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I remember the He-Man toys and
Oh,
all those
fuck
Star
yeah.
Wars jets and like the fucking Sesame Street toys that they have all over here. This is great. Like, honestly, the nostalgia in these toys is fucking great.
I think I rubbed a He-Man toy on my body at one point.
Sure,
when
why
I was
not?
a child.
That's what they're for.
And then when she opens up the
I used to
music
love
box,
making G.I. Joe's fuck.
oh my god! I think my trolls had sex with my brother's Ghostbusters.
Woo.
Yeah. Did you notice that when she opens up the music box, it's playing "It's a Small World"?
Oh, no way.
Disneyland.
That's fucking cute.
There's a part where Carlos is talking about He-Man, and then his young fiance says, "Oh, I was more familiar with Monster High."
Yeah.
That's how big their age gap is. That's intense.
I hate that.
And I know.
Millennials.
Speaking of the room, I think that it's a really pivotal moment, especially for Jesus. This is also the only real other part of the house that he had control over.
Yeah.
Because while Maria was able to pick the colors, like he had control over what got put in it, like the toys. And
Well, this is one thing that before the baby was born, they promised to each other that this room out of all the rooms in the house would be done before the baby got here, and they actually completed it like the day before the baby, was born, and
Yeah.
it's what kind of keeps them linked still is this one room.
I think that really ultimately what was keeping them linked was the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was acting like it wasn't something of interest to him, that really was all that was left that was holding them together.
Yeah.
Which is why what happens at the end happens. Because what else is there,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not you.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, God. Also, I like that Christina's shirt says, "No bad days."
Yeah.
And this is the worst day
Honestly.
on earth. Anyway, Jesus starts to focus on the chair and what's underneath it and has a vision of eating like pukey, baby, bloody things. And this is where we get into the difference between loving your partner and your child and what the differences are. I just repeated myself. Okay, Alex, top 5 loved ones, go.
My mother, my sisters, my brother, myself, you.
Okay, I'm 6 or 8.
Yeah.
That's cool. So out of the top 5, I fall into the top 10. That's good. Okay.
I mean, there's so many people, honestly. You can't really top 5. You cannot.
I know,
top
but
5.
see
There's
how
no
quickly
fucking way.
they do it though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and for Maria, she's like, my grandma Mercedes is in my top 5,
Yeah.
but my number 1 is my son.
This moment was
And-
just made specifically for one person. And
It
that
was,
like,
and also to make us uncomfortable.
yeah, because
Go ahead.
when they like, what about you, Jesus? Jesus is like, well, to me, the most important thing in life is Maria. But he, at this point, is just honestly kissing her ass because he knows what she's about to learn, or is just like, the day's just going to eventually get there to that point.
Yeah.
It's so fucking sad to see this man just fucking break.
The food does look good on their table.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate because I would definitely be devouring all that food.
There's a great moment between Christina and Jesus in this table where Christina's the only one that actually notices that Jesus is under stress. Like he starts looking at the baby monitor, and then his hands are like kind of like tapping the table, and Christina's staring straight at his hands and kind of like looking at him like worried, like something's on his mind. And it's the only person that actually notices that Jesus is under stress.
It's because she's vegan.
Yeah.
Shout out to the vegans.
Yeah, it's such a good fucking part of the movie. Shout out to the vegans.
This is also this is a pretty important part as well because Christina and Carlos pick the best time to reveal that they too are about to be parents. And it's super sweet But Jesus does not give the reaction that they would like. And why would he?
Because, yeah, why would he?
He excuses himself and records a suicide note on his phone. And Carlos has been sent by Maria. Well, no, I guess he goes on his own free will. He goes to check on Jesus, overhears the suicide note, and basically demands answers. And Jesus decides to be honest and show Carlos the body of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And meantime, in the dining room, Maria, who said she wasn't going to be drinking because of breastfeeding, has decided to begin drinking. And Christina has decided to join the crowd and starts to judge her.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Carlos for a second, because he is stepping up to become a really good guy.
He is a wonderful brother. He's like, Jesus, tell me whatever is on your mind. You know that I can help you with whatever it is, but if I don't know, I can't help you. But honestly, the brother is the only person that could have snapped Jesus out of whatever he's going through right now.
Yeah, and he does.
Mm-hmm.
He gets through to him in a really familial, honest way.
Yeah.
And when he does show him the body, Carlos, as shocked and upsetting as it is for him, as shocking and upsetting as it is for him, he gets with it really fast.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, look, we have to tell your wife it's going to fucking suck, but we're going to figure this out. But you can't kill yourself, and you can't not be a man about this. We have to do this.
This
And so he finally gets him to build up and muster the courage to do it. But this is when we get a knock at the door, or the doorbell rings or whatever, and Ruth is there. And Ruth is demanding to talk to both Maria and Jesus. And Maria tells Ruth that it's not an option. It's a bad time. She needs to come back tomorrow. But Ruth basically fucking pushes her way in with her little floofy dog.
No, she says, because Maria's like, today's not the time right now. It's not the time. And she's about to close the door. And then the little girl yells out, your husband kissed me in the elevator. So Maria lets her in because she's like, all right, we're going to settle this shit right now. Come in.
Yeah, because Maria is like, oh, that's why you're acting like a fucking train wreck, because you're fondling the little girl upstairs. Carlos knows that that's not what it is. And at the same time, the dog is let loose. The dog does what, Alex?
The dog, doing dog shit, goes underneath the chair where the decapitated head is at and starts, just barking at it, and then grabs it with his mouth as Carlos, the brother, is like, go get your dog. And Maria's yelling, like, shut your fucking dog up. This moment's really tense between everybody in the living room, in the dining room. When the brother grabs a hold of the dog drags the head out from underneath the chair and then gives the dog to the little girl. It's all bloodied in the mouth, and the little girl screams out. Everybody's like, what is he holding? And the little girl's like, he's holding a head. And it's when it's discovered, the baby's fucking head. And Carlos is like, Maria, you have to fucking leave the house. Christina, take Maria out of the house.
And Jesus is just crying.
Yeah.
And Ruth is just screaming. The dog is just fucking barking. Maria is screaming. Christina throws up.
Yeah.
Her vegan lunch all over the place.
They show Ruth, the little girl, the one that's causing all the trouble. She's just leaned up against the wall in total fucking shock, mouth open, crying, and there's no fucking sound coming out of nobody during the scene. It's just fucking silent, and we're just seeing everybody's reactions.
Is there music? There's loud, crazy music, right? But as far as their vocal reactions go, no, there's nothing. And then we get this really interesting circular shot. We go around the room and we're looking at everybody, and we see in the first shot around the room, Maria is going towards the balcony, and then as we go around the room again, Maria is no longer on the balcony.
No, meaning she committed suicide while holding the baby's head.
Yeah.
And this is the shock of it all, because the movie starts, once this whole series ends, we go into the next scene, which is what happens after, the whole incident. Ambulance, cops, everybody's there. And it's so confusing to everybody after, because there is no answer. There's nobody talking. The mother jumped off the balcony with a decapitated head, which looks like she got angry, mad, and to me, psychotically, and then ripped the fucking kid's head off and jumped to her death. It's what it looks like to the cops and detectives and investigators and everybody around.
And honestly, that is probably what will end up being the story.
The statement.
Because Carlos is in shock, right? And all he can say is the coffee table.
The coffee table. The coffee table.
Yeah. And I don't even know what's happening with Christina.
There's a female cop and a male cop, and the female cop says to the male detective, is there anybody talking, any witnesses? And she's like, we have one that keeps repeating the same 3 words. And he's like, what are the 3 words? And he's like, the coffee table, the coffee table,
Español.
The coffee table, la mesita del comedor, la mesita del comedor, la mesita del comedor.
Yeah, that's the end. How do you say the end? El fini?
El final.
El final. Guys.
Oh, yeah. But you had mentioned too that while they're questioning, you know, like there's a little girl that's in shock. The wife is in shock. The pregnant Christina, she's in shock as well. She's might be having her baby. Maybe not.
Oh, no, she's newly pregnant.
Yeah, I thought she had a bump already.
Maybe so, but a small bump, maybe. Yeah. I think she's very newly pregnant. Poor thing.
The little girl ain't talking. Carlos is only repeating the same 3 words. And I think you mentioned Jesus jumped as well.
Yeah, because they're together holding each other in spirit with their baby, I think.
See, the report was murder-suicide.
Yeah, a couple died from the balcony of their home.
Oh.
Yeah, their newborn baby too. Yeah, I love how this became like half audio commentary.
I know we're all, oh man, the 13-year-old neighbor has had an anxiety attack and the doctors are treating a pregnant girl in shock. That's all.
Yeah, so the end is just very, very depressing.
It's the most miserable movie you'll ever see or ever watch because there's no happy point. The only happiest point in the entire movie is when Maria smiles at a stranger when she hands him a fucking wine bottle because she did good for somebody else. She goes to the store to go buy the wine bottles because the brother's going to come for dinner. And as she's choosing the wine for themselves because she's having a hard time, she doesn't drink. And this guy approaches her and he's like, hey, can you help me pick a good wine? And she's like, good wine? Well, good wine is good to what, you know, whatever flavor you like is the good wine to you. A good wine applies to whatever you consider good wine is. So she's holding a bottle at the same time she was going to take for herself. And she hands it to him. And the guy just, you know, happily walks away with it. And she just gives him like very endearing smile. It's so nice that she's actually like out of the house doing something for herself, you know, making people happy. And it's the most genuine moment in the entire movie. And then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I know exactly the part you're talking about. And she has that smile a few more times throughout the movie when she's having really vulnerable conversational moments with Jesus, like in the room where he is talking to her about forgiveness. Later on when he is just like he's faint and not feeling well, and it's after that conversation of forgiveness. And like I think that she's a really terrific actress. She has like a lot of range, and like even when she is experiencing or displaying rather all that anger, like you know why. Like she's been through some shit, man. And women are a force. Like we, like as a society, we take women for granted, and we do so in like a really bad way. And I think she is a really classic example of like a woman who has been taken for granted, and it's just unfortunate. It really is.
And there's nothing wrong with loving your children before your husbands. You know, like there's nothing wrong with that because in all honesty, there was somebody else before that you loved even more, you know, like it could have been your own parents, your pet, anything.
A lot of more mothers should love their children more than their husbands.
That's men. Funny. They actually used the furniture store that was used in the movie was a real furniture store.
That's rad. I love that. Well, that's the coffee table, guys.
Yeah.
Definitely recommended. By the way, this was released in the United States in January of 2024. So technically 2022, but also a 2024 release. So I think I'm going to call this a 2024 movie.
Yeah, I would.
Holla.
Oh, that's our second 2024.
Here we go. Anything else you want to add to the coffee table? What do you give this on your? What do you want to give this on your gory gator? I'm going to give it a 5. It's pretty fucking perfect.
I would say 5 as well. Solid 5.
Hard watch, but definitely worth it. No real complaints, guys. One of these days, we're going to review a piece of shit movie.
This movie's beautiful, dude. Like you can watch it over and over. Honestly, you can.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, I can. Like I have the strength for it.
Crazy. I love it, but you're crazy.
Why is that crazy? Like it's so weird. Like it's so beautiful. Like everything is just made so well. Like the entire story is worth watching over and over. Like this is fucking stress that you can see somebody else go through and you'll feel fine about yourself and your day after. It's like that's not my day.
I'm gonna stick to Titanic.
Yeah. Same misery.
It really
Same
is.
Misery, no happy ending.
Times 1600.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? We watched American Gothic.
Oh man. That
And
movie's
I guess
nuts.
we'll save that because we might end up reviewing that. I ended up buying it on Blu-ray. I
don't
loved
know.
it so fucking much.
Will I be Fanny for Halloween or not?
And will I be Cynthia?
We just bought a plant right after we watched the movie, and he's like, "What are you gonna name her?" I'm like, "Cynthia, of course. We're gonna name her Cynthia."
And why? Because she's a really good dancer. All right, guys. You know how to find us. We're on social medias, including YouTube, Threads, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. At the Gory Gaze. You can email us at thegorygaze@gmail.com. And yeah, everybody have a really, really great week. Thanks again for sticking it out with us and all of our crazy scheduling conflicts. And thanks, Alex, for being on Gory Gay with me.
Of course, you guys stay gory.
Stingy.
Bye.
Bye.